Hey everybody, we've returned with some more of our Demonologist run. We have to decide what we want to do here. We have a pretty good visual on most of what's left, with the really only big threat being the Priest King and this stack from the Enchanter. I don't know what else the Enchanter really has here. There might be like a small base or something here. Is this the Enchanter here? No, this is the Priest. Sorry, the High Cultist. I called him the Priest King. But we're gonna take him out. Yeah. If we can, here at this port, we'll kill his army. We'll take this deserted port as well, most likely. Is this Baron's Castle? I do want to show you guys some of the cooler Demonologist stuff we can see. I was actually taking a look down here. This might be a cool place to spawn the Hellgate. We'll see how many Demon Lords we see this episode. It just depends how long everything takes, how many controls we get. But this also might be our wrap-up episode, depending on how everything goes. Here you can see we're smacking these guys. Just destroying them. These are not the factions that do well against us either. Thankfully, no L spawned in on us, so we don't have to worry about that. That army's dead. One thing we do have to consider is we don't want to kill all their commanders if we're going to be trying to stay late in the game here. So this guy's going to be a problem. And we do want that bottle of demon blood. But he's already kind of out of our reach. Although he could just go blitz a bunch of our stuff, so we do not want him getting too far away. We could try and cheese the commander with our succubus. We don't have a lot of other uses for her right now, so why not? We'll try and cheese her commander with an assassinate. We'll kill this. We know there's a little Hydromancer dude down here, so I'm not too worried about them losing the game. We actually could leave them with this port. I think we will do that for now. We'll send this army south. We'll try and get a visual on this area a little bit. Kill this town, take this town, maybe take this port. We're just trying to maximize our sacrifice output. Didn't work. That's okay, though. She gave it her best attempt, Gilly, or whatever her name was. So we have our smaller demon army move up against this stuff. Shade Assassins are actually a little bit scary because we have a caster in the back here. Although we have two big demons with... one of them has at least a melee magic weapon, the other just has a wand. Hellbind Heart. Shoes of Speed and Pendant of Luck. Okay, he's coming back now. That's good. He's got multiple mage cores running around here. Not super big threatening-wise, but do want to be a bit careful with that bigger army with our Gotic Master. Although he's got level 3 spells. They're not the ones that really excel on this faction, I'd say. Definitely not the best and the brightest spells that we could have. Mance, the monster, will continue his grand tour this direction. We'll get a catapult here. God, 21 town level. That's a lot of mercenary opportunities. We did real well this game. Real well indeed. Kill some boars down here. We want to continue to keep these hamlets if we can. Just keeping everything at its pinnacle. We're getting attacked by the Enchanter. He'll probably take this back. Could just go kill him. This army is a little tough, though. These guys just go right over walls, too. That's dead. Taking our town, finally up there. I think we've had that for quite a while. My memory is serving me correctly. When you take our stuff, it takes us away from getting our demon guy quicker. So that's no fun. We'll just continue to beef up this city because eventually we're going to leave it. A part of this is just me trying to show you guys what to expect with the demons and maybe see a cool battle as our main demonologist gets killed by a demon if we fail the summoning, because that is always a possibility. You know, thinking about it, we could have had the succubus down here just blitzing stuff. That could have been a purpose for her, actually, now that I think about it. Didn't need to throw her away so quickly. We'll just hoard this out. What do we have here now? 96 units. He probably wouldn't fight that. I think we'll take Pierre and start moving him this way. But when we do that, he's already hopping around again. He might just be going to take his town back. Super curious where this last enchanter's base is. Let's keep on keeping it safe. Alright, this is a pretty big army. The enchanter could probably steamroll through that, but he's down here right now, so not too worried about that. Continue our march on these towns. We'll go grab that port too. They'll just take this stuff back, but hey. We want to be a little careful with this big army. Especially because this is not the regenerating guys we have here. We have the demon knights, don't we? Still a pretty big force. There's a lot of garbage in here, but enough garbage can take us out. Unfortunately. What's this guy got? It's a crown of command. Nothing too crazy. Now that I'm looking at it, we have to go through mountains to get here. I'm not loving that idea. We'll summon our demon lord, and maybe, depending on the demon lord it is, we could send him on his own to go kill stuff. Or we could fail to control him and die ourselves. The demon lords are a particularly risky move to make. Oh, this tower bridge might get taken. What does she have? Oh, she has conversion, so yeah. This is gonna be rough. Because the less archers we have, the quicker they're gonna be getting up here. We lost our tower bridge, oh no. Very late in the game to lose that. We finally got a mage. We don't actually have a lot of library levels. Oh, we do. We have a lot. Why are we not getting mages more often? Feels like we haven't gotten a mage in a while. And this one came with a heart of life. My goodness. That's wild. Removes, never heals. That is a great item if you can get it on the enchanter's stuff. If you can buy that in the shop, you can give it to your golem, one of your golems. Oh, that's a brutal item. Giving them the chance to heal is wild. Not really good on this guy. Gives him Hades immunity, but mostly just gives him a wound. He'll hold that place over there. We're going to attack this, seize it from them, getting ourselves a port once again. They actually didn't attack this port. I don't know what the AI is thinking there. But we're going to try this. This could go wrong and we could lose our Godic Master, which would be lame, but it could also go well. We got it! Alright. He also has a Heart of Life, which is not a great item to have on this guy. Oh god. Well, we'll talk about him. This is Garron. If you've seen my Warlock Conquest of the Plains and Conquest of Elysium before, then you've seen me kill this guy. He is a beast. He doesn't have evasion, just to be clear. Also, his magic resistance is actually 10. And he doesn't have Hades immunity or false life. Just keep that in mind. Or a chest wound he usually doesn't come with. But he generally does have 2 magic items. He's got 180 HP. Big old tank. He's got 10 magic resistance generally, 10 strength, 4 armor, so it's going to be hard to hit this guy. He's the monster of fraud? I don't know if that was always his title. I know he was always the fraud god. But he is pretty good. He's got command spells level 3, which is these beauties down here with Enslave, Enchanted Sleep, Mass Confusion, and Mass Command, which is just like, ooh la la, these are some good paths. This will mess up your army in terms of stunning them. Then when they're all stunned, he's going to shoot confusion rays at them and things. He's got some regular attacks too. We'll talk about, you guys know, we've seen the Infernal magic. He's only path 2 on it, so he's not that crazy with those spells. Definitely not the biggest danger in terms of being a solo combatant, but he's pretty good at it if he gets a regeneration item. He didn't, though. He got this garbage thing, which just reduces his hit points. Oh, he's very magic resistant. This doesn't increase armor, does it? Just making sure he does actually have 4 armor. He's got this claw, which is pretty nasty, and a tail sweep. Of course, he comes with things. He has cold resistance, I believe. Yeah, I think that's his. Planar immortality. So you can respawn him if he dies. Although, keep in mind, he will respawn with his wounds. Unlike your immortals on the plane of Elysium, that kind of reform, like the Lich. This guy does not heal from his wounds. Neither do the elemental kings that we might see one day on the channel here. He's banishable, but that's not gonna always really impact him. He's resistance 12, and I think you still control him if he gets banished, which can be unfortunate because you could lose him in the Inferno very easily. There's a lot of stuff there that could actually kill him. Although his spells are a little bit better at holding off the demons than the, say if you got Bjor the Fire Sun Demon Lord, who has fire attacks. If he's fighting people with fire, he's not as good. So that could present a problem to him. He's got Combat Caster. He causes fear. He's giant-sized and flying. And he's a ritual caster. And he can let's look at him here. He can get up to level 2 rituals, weirdly enough. So he can't summon other demon lords, but he can, bring in some lieutenants and things like that. In a game that had gone worse, or where we'd seen more challenge on this side of the map, we might have maybe had a bigger problem. But fortunately for us, we did pretty good managing everything. Where's the capital? Do we have the capital? Where the hell's the capital? I'm getting distracted by this, but I'm very curious. Just down here? Or is it on an island? Do we have it already? Oh, there it is. Okay. Just trying to remember if we had the capital. I wasn't sure. This thing's pretty great. Not as good as the giant capital, but definitely pretty good. That's Garron. He is, he's fraud and things like that. He can do pretty well if we just put some regular troops with him. We'll grab these guys and run those guys with him, and we'll see what he can do as we move him south. We'll move Pierre the Patsy over here to summon another Demon Lord. Then we might open a gate to the Inferno and mess with that a little bit before the game's over. This is a pretty unconsequential fight. Nothing too wild. I do think the Demon Lords can be pretty great to get. For their price, they're actually pretty good, but unfortunately, when you do get them, it's gonna be a chance you don't get them. So, like, if that had gone wrong, you guys would see just how wrong it does go. It goes pretty badly. We'll circle back if this guy takes this, but keep stomping forward here. I want to get Garron in a fight so you guys can see a Demon Lord try and duke it out. We'll save up more sacrifices, get another Demon Lord if possible. We'll lose this port here because they got this water guy with them. Skip that. We have more interesting things to get to. Okay. We'll take this town. We'll just start building stuff here. Why not? We have the money for it. We are trading at an overprice, I believe, though. Keep that in mind. Garron can continue to move down here. He would be faster if we didn't have these heavy guys with him, but then he's got no one in front of him to protect him. I actually think plenty of these armies could kill him, especially the Enchanter. Do we show him off here? We might get nabbed by the High Cultist afterwards, who is a little bit more powerful, but I think he might be able to take this. Because level 3 spells are very great, and on this chassis it's even better. And he's got evasion, so he's avoiding quarter of all attacks. Not the best in terms of things that kind of nullify attacks, but definitely a good item. What is down here? Oh, some mooses. Once again, the mooses are trying to retake this area. A long time ago since we saw those guys. And try and kill this army. It might work. Oof, nope. The nets, the powerful nets. Dragon is dead. Our wonderful captain. Okay, this is the interesting battle. We'll go speed 3. He's gonna run up like a dum-dum, but he's a combat caster. I mean, maybe that's not dumb, because he's got 4 armor. And you can see all these guys are already confused. And he'll do tail sweep, and he'll still get spells and things like that. That sweep is pretty nasty against things like Hoberg's, because it does a full sweep, so... You know, -1 damage after each target is... Oof. You can see he's enslaving people. You can end up getting some really good stuff. Say if we were still fighting the trolls, or if we were fighting Cell Souls from the Scourge Lord and he blessed them. You know, because enslave, I believe, targets, yeah, just about any kind of creature. Although we could hit our own guys with confusion, although, wait. Yeah, I think we can. Let me speed this up a little bit, because you guys can see how it's going. You know, this whole stack is dying to a couple of these regenerating guys. Although he's confused one with Starlight. And you'll end up grabbing maybe some valuable stuff as well. That's not a guarantee, though. Keep that in mind. Just to be clear, this magic resistance just negates with this. It's not with great difficulty or anything. And he's got a hold level 1 spell as well, but it's not that worth it. Actually, I think we got one of our guys back there. So we cleared that out. Got a Crown of Command, and you'll see that this guy is just really great at doing stuff like that to human factions, especially because they tend to have low magic resistance. So he'll just, he'll kind of scourge his way through them. Yeah, Freya? Oh god. I don't know if you guys heard that, but Freya just went, very loud. She wants attention. I'm recording, homie. Okay. Turn the music down a little bit. Hopefully that wasn't interfering too much. I don't know ever how to fix audio. Okay, there's forest fires everywhere. Doesn't bother us too much. Some pikes here. How many defenders are on the walls? Just don't want to lose that to the fish people. If I lose all this, it's whatever, but like the fish people taking a port would be kind of a hindrance right now. Okay. Could just move out with this. Don't want the army to slow. Yeah, we'll just move out this direction. Oh god, the High Cultist is actually right there. That would be an interesting fight. I think the Shades, the Shade Assassins might just kill him. Although they have a decent chance to also just get peppered by arrows. Take Garron and move him this way. These guys are pretty good against Garron, actually, because they're all mindless. And like half, I think almost all of his stuff requires a mind. Yeah. So stun will in fact hit them, but mindless doesn't affect mindless. So all of his stuff is focused on mindful creatures. So automatons are not affected, making him not so good against undead either, who have mindless tags. Is that guy? Did he come from a ship? This guy's attacking our port. He'll take actually a lot of losses because these are not spaced well. And I've noticed Illwinter might need to change how the High Cultist prioritizes its troops, because it'll end up like spawning a whole bunch of its sea creatures and then filling them in with this big army and push back all the archers or whatever, making it kind of a little less effective. As we have this weird like Celtic music to the sound of us fighting. Sometimes some strange music will play, and it's just like, this doesn't really set the tone for what I was expecting. Okay. And he's getting killed by wolves. He was just exploring, so he's dead. Does he have a base up here or something? I don't think so, but it looked like he came in here with the boat. Maybe he's got something down here and he's driving up the coast. I'd like to get a feel for what's going on there. Let's get more archers here. Just continue to annoy the high cultist. He's actually summoned one of these lightning things on the port. That's irritating. Those things are a big piece of work. Okay, we get to watch Garron fight again as he stuns everybody. Sleep's actually a little better in these situations, or confusion. Because when you don't have a lot of troops running, they're not getting attacked, so it's like, might as well. Let's put them to sleep. Okay. Garron adding more troops to his cadre. However you pronounce it. We'll go attack that port too. Just keeping these guys on their toes, irritating them. I want to go south here and explore a little bit. So we overrun some guys. Oh, there's another port. We will take that. Oh god, we're getting ambushed. Could be bad, because that means Garron is out here. One thing, though, is that Garron might actually, like, enchant enough of these guys to kill the commander, which means the enchanter would not be off very well at this point. Doing pretty dangerous territory. Take this back. Grab this. Oh, it's one of his mimics. Weird little trap things. I don't know how impactful those actually are. Maybe in multiplayer, when other players are smart enough to like go and try and jump on your stuff. But who knows? This is a little bit bigger than I thought down here. So we're gonna go try and kill this statue. Continuing to try and claim more lands here, as they get taken away from us almost immediately. Oh goodness, Freya's in a heap. She is in a heap. What's up? I don't know if you guys can see her. Oh yeah, you can. You can see her. What's up, homie? Say hello to this. Say hello to the YouTube. Okay. She was real nice. She's been running around. She wants attention very badly. But we're doing Conquest right now. Oh goodness. She's walking in front of me. She's like, hey. Okay, Freya. Oh, don't, no, stop. She's gonna hit the webcam. With her tail. Now she's decided to plop down right in front of Conquest. I'm sorry, guys. It's a little funny though. I'm sure you guys aren't upset about it. It's just funny. We lost this village. I do not like the kind of Celtic-y music as much as I like the organ. If I just had the organ during this whole run, that would be nice. This will try and confuse some of our troops, but that won't do much. We can actually stun this, and he'll probably only cast stun. As he tries to get in range. Yeah, he'll beat this thing down. Not really that much of a threat when we can stun the thing every round or so. Yeah, some archers we could buy. Let's go grab this port. I can't see the bottom right part of the screen. My cat has decided to plop down right in front of it. Okay, take this. Let's pull the catapult here. So we just save up for our next demon lord. Okay, Freya. Alright. I get it. I get it. Okay. Go lay down in the bucket. No, go lay down in the bucket. In the bucket. Okay, she thinks I'm petting her when I'm trying to push her into her bucket. I have a dice tray that she likes to sit in next to my desk. And she'll just, like, hang out in it while I play games and stuff, but, sometimes when she wants pets, she'll sit right in front of the screen. Aw. So we watch some archers try and kill this army. They'll lose, because the gates are too weak, but they'll take some with them. Very costly. We have some pirates on the way. I'm a little worried the enchanter has like a base somewhere that we can't get to without a boat. Oh god, this is actually... There's a whole little peninsula down here again. Always with these peninsulas, they'll get you in Conquest. You'll think, huh, I thought it ended about right here and I didn't think there's anything worthwhile, but then you end up, there's a whole savanna full of Mott and Baileys and things that are actually kind of useful for us. Well, it's time, folks, to try this again. If this goes poorly, we'd be in some trouble, but we're going to shoot our best. Actually, we're going to take everybody out and do this outside of the city. We're only taking everything. And the reason is I want our troops to advance on whatever's summoned if it does break away from our control. We'll do another full 1,000. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, this is Bior. We don't have fire resistance, so we could be dead. Bior's the sun god. He's got a combustion aura, so this troll is dead. Fire shield. Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay, we might need to kill the other factions pretty quickly, because Bior will just destroy things. He will destroy villages and things. We'll check him out right here before we start. He's one of the best in terms of evocation if there's no fire resistance on the enemy side. He's got 123 HP. He's got 10 magic resistance, 3 armor, so a little less armor than Garron. He ranks towards the back. He's got 17 morale, strength, although this stuff doesn't... the strength and morale don't matter too much for this guy. I guess morale does, because it's pretty high, so he won't get feared very easily. He's got this on him, so he doesn't usually have Twist Fate. He will now, which is bad, because the first attack will miss against him. Jeez. God, this is going to be rough, because he's got all these tags. We've taken a look at these. 7 fire shield is meaning they're going to take 7 fire damage. So all our melee troops are going to die. Our hope is our storm people will lightning him and he'll get stunned or something, although he has high magic resistance. He's immune to all our fire damage, which, you know, is the core of our army here. Like, there's only so many people who can hurt him. And I'm real worried about our caster. Be real bad. Anti-magic would be pretty good right now. His 2 level 3 pyromancy spells are going to hurt. His hooves won't matter too much. We'll see what spells he has. Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay, no map-wide fire spells, but if he casts the meteors, which he casts rather quickly, he will just slaughter us. Come on. Don't let him summon any more fire. And he does not have combat caster. Keep that in mind. Oh, God! Oh, our Demonologist survived that round. Okay. Oh, Jesus. And Bior's almost dead now. But, oh, geez, the danger. Trying to enslave him. He's numb. Demonologist still survived. Okay. Alright. Just lost a whole bunch of troops. So that was Bior. You can see, there's small craters everywhere. Sometimes Bior will have different spells. I'd say the meteors are pretty dangerous. Thankfully, all our mages survived. But our rock troll somehow did. He's fire vulnerable. The fact that he survived this fight, what a champion. What a champion troll. He looked into the fires of the abyss and survived. And rarely does a troll ever see that kind of action and survive. But you can see how brutal that could be in the right situation. This actually isn't great. We don't have enough archers. And our dudes are kind of being funky here. Yeah. That ballista really won that for them. Now we're going to have to go fight against the ballista if we want our port back. Which I do want that back. And this guy might come and attack us. We'll move this way with Garron. We're going to move back here, and we need to get some more troops on this army. I think we might go open a pit to the Inferno for our next thing. We might not see all the Demon Lords. I'm going to do a video on the Inferno where we can look at all of them. As you guys have heard before, I'm working on some projects. Doing the best I can to get those done, but it's taken some time to get to the point where I've like completely explored something to show you guys, because I know it's mostly in there myself, but it does take some time to actually get all of it done. If they attack this, I think they'd be in some trouble actually, because they'd lose a bunch of guys to confusion. That might not be their best idea. So what we're gonna do here, what do we want to do? We probably want to get an Infernal Horde to get some troops in this army. We finally got some good wizards that we can grab. We'll throw them in here. Shade Warrior, Shade Assassin. I really suggest getting these guys now. If you get a Shade Assassin, I just view that as such value. Sea Father, not so much. Sea Father's okay. Not something I'd write home about personally, but that's just me. Drop off our catapult. We should kill, like, the High Cultist and just leave the Enchanter to roam around, because he's kind of slow. Oh, well, we might get an opportunity to kill the High Cultist, because he's running against us. Specifically, Garron. And immediately just unlocking the stun with his mass command. Does he have Soul Slay? Ooh, that could hurt Garron. Yeah, but he's got high magic resistance, so hopefully he doesn't get Soul Slayed. So we put their army to sleep. It's going to cause them some trouble. They got to fight regenerating dudes. The less turns they get on these guys, the more they regenerate. So these guys actually synergize pretty well. If you can get sleep with Garron and then throw these regenerating guys in, he'll end up making the army so out of sync that these guys have time to regenerate. Although this is a little bigger than what I'd suggest, unless you have more of these guys. Like a full line of them. We don't really have that much. Garron's actually getting attacked this time, so he could be in some trouble. A lot of this army is sleeping. I don't even know. Where did their High Cultist go? I totally missed that. He got killed. Which is really good. I'm assuming someone got confused or he got enslaved. All this confusion going down, he's gonna stun him. But you can see how these guys do synergize well. Against an army this size, it's crazy these guys live this long. There's only 2 of them left, roughly 3 now. Well, they're coming back too, so. That's the major part of the High Cultist force. We saw a much better High Cultist in our Illusionist campaign, where he had actually gotten some stuff done. Get a whole bunch of weapons. It's got the bottle of demon blood. On him, that's actually not that good. I don't even think it's stuck on him because he's got 2 magic items. We'll throw it on him though for now. But it's just like, you know, it's an Infernal Path 1, so he'll cast this at level 3 now. If he had better spells, it'd be better, but he doesn't, so it's not. It is not. Kill this port. We'll go circle around, kill this army. Maybe these 2 will fight. Be kind of a bad idea for him, but hey, who knows? We'll do an Infernal Horde. This is what we wanted. A big old stack of those guys will help us out. We'll get some archers and other stuff here, and then we're going to go south, and we're going to open a pit to the Inferno. Or a gate to the Inferno is what I should say. You know, some of you will have seen the, like, Doomsday event that is the gate to the Inferno, but this is a little different in that we put one here. Mostly the same otherwise, but still pretty cool. Let's go take this city. This might kill the High Cultist. I don't know if he has any other stacks of commanders. He might have one down here or something. This army should be pretty easy. You can see a lot of our Bloodsworn came back after that battle ended. As they tend to do. Even without the Bloodsworn, though, Garron is so good versus human troops. There's only one other guy who might be a little equivalent, is the Corruptor Demon Lord, who will just, like, convert. Almost just assassinate convert at the beginning of the battle. Kind of like the Succubus, but map-wide at human troops, and only human troops. Garron has more utility in that he can enslave trolls and anything that's not mindless, so. And he tends to lock up armies like this unless they have good magic resistance. Oh, yep, and that's the High Cultist, so he's out of the game. Want to be a bit careful. I know he's got another stack running around here, the Enchanter. I'm not so worried about killing this. We should throw down a save, just in case. Save over our safety, but keep the other one. Just in case that does kill him this round. Then we can move back a little further in time and show some stuff off to you. We don't want to open this gate until we have a bigger army, most likely. So they're going to send a whole hell of a lot through it, ironically. Oh, goodness. Don't need to watch that again. He keeps sending big stacks over here. I'm getting curious. What's happened? Does he have like a single port or something over here? That's a big army. That's a big old army. We have near unlimited resources. Now that we've mostly conquered Elysium. Where's our other guy? He's down here. He's looking to get more of our lieutenants. Maybe show off some other lieutenants to you guys. And we'll get to see one in battle. This guy's actually pretty dangerous. He's got level 3 infernal magic, which can be some pretty crazy stuff sometimes. The Greater Devil's actually what one of the ones I like the most next to the Shadow, Hiligophus. They start with 1 or 2 magic items. They have a Firebrand and level 3 infernal magic. High magic resistance, although it's not as high as this. It's actually -3, so like 8. It's got 2 armor. They'll always start with this Firebrand. There's an ice version of them. Not of them, but there's an ice version of the Lieutenant that starts with the Frostbrand, as we talked about before. So he's got Bloodletting, which entire battlefield casting Bloodletting hurts. Hurts real bad. But I don't think he's going to get that off, because he's kind of got locked here. I think he Hellbind Heart, one of our dudes. He's attacking our City of Crafts. He actually took a loss here of one of these iron grafted golems. He got hit with a catapult. He's fire shielding these dudes. Not a big deal versus us, but fire shield on those guys is scary. Ooh, we could get the Staff of Night, which I believe... Put it on there. Throw this Demon Whip on, like, you. Where'd the Staff of Night go? Yeah. Oh, that's not what I thought it did. Okay. This just gives Dark Cloud. We'll still give it to him, why not? It's fitting for our Dark Lieutenant to have the Staff of Night, I suppose. Go kill this army. We know he's got that big stack, and we'll start blitzing things and try and just keep him not to kill us before we do our due diligence here and show you guys more of the stuff that we wanted to. Although he could have a last base on an island. I haven't seen his tower yet, though, so I have a feeling it's over here, or he's sending troops through a port. Try this again. Okay, we got control of our Ice Devil. So these guys are interesting. They have some good and they have some bad. The real bad thing is they tend to get these spells. Just to start off with, Hailstorm and Blizzard, which can also be a good thing. But it's bad in the sense that it's going to hit us. And it's going to kill a hell of a lot of our troops if it does. Which is not super great. They have 116 HP, 8 magic resistance, 3 armor. So not unsimilar to the fire guy in terms of stat blocks. You know, they'll always start with a Frostbrand, so you're getting a magic item out of it no matter what. They have 2 castings of Frost Magic level 2. So that's going to be every time they get a chance to reset their turns, they're going to cast these spells if they're not in physical combat. which they have these attacks for. They're a lot worse if you don't have the Frost Brand. They're just their little hands or claws or whatever you call them. They have a barbed tail with poison like these little ice guys. Where are they? Oh, they died in that fight. You've seen them, our ice demons. So, the ice spells are pretty good, but unfortunately it's hard to mass enough of the tiny ice guys and the ice imps to really make it count. You could mass the ice imps pretty well, but like if you have to keep doing like, you know, let's say if we do on the lighter end of 26, you know, let's just do it a couple times. Okay, well you lost control of that guy even. You're not going to get the ice guys enough, in my mind, to justify these guys having these two spells, which sucks. Now, what you could do with them is get them a gem that allows them to cast spells in combat. We've seen that. It'll give a gem of concentration, I think it's called. It'll give them combat caster, and then you get maybe a regeneration item, and they're really, really good. And if they fight in the snow, you might even not need the generation item, because they're going to fight so well in the snow with their ice armor. Because they're not in cold right now. He has 3 armor. I think he has 4 in the snow. Yeah. Maybe even higher. So he's got some really good defense. The only thing is archers will ping him down, even with the 4 armor, potentially. Especially if they have crossbows. But the hope is you run him against something like a base of an enemy with maybe some expendable troops who can take arrows. These guys could work potentially in the army with him because they'll regenerate from his attacks, but they still might not survive. This is actually pretty interesting. Garron is not going to be able to hurt the spears a lot, but when he fights the spears, and if he's able to hit them, he'll just sweep past them really crazily with his tail. But he needs to get rid of all these human troops, I think, otherwise he's going to sit here and cast spells. And let the other troops do the work, which isn't so good because these guys will slowly kill this army. Someone's shooting poison. He's got a poison rod. Yeah, Freya? Oh my goodness, she's being noisy today. See, I'm not super enthused with the ice guys for that reason. Where you have a lot of fire resistance built into plenty of your troops. So, like Bure or any other level 3 fire caster, like a pyromancer. I think sometimes you can get high AoE spells, you know, like that bloodletting. And there's a problem with that because obviously it's going to hit your own troops, but they don't tend to get that spell as often as they're going to kind of lock you out of certain spells. So we're going to have to send that guy to like a magic library if we want him not to kill our entire army. Because he's going to have Hailstorm or the ice version of it. Okay, Freya, I get you. Okay, this battle's over. Let's skip past the rest of that. We're just trying to find their base now at this point. We might have to build some boats, which I was told I should do more of. I do read those comments. But, oh, maybe they're just sitting off here. I think it's true. There's situations that definitely call for boats where I haven't built them. I do think that. I just can't, like... I've heard so many horror stories of losing troops. I just panic when I see the boats now. Like, there was a bug, apparently, where they fell off, and I believe it's fixed. But I get panicky about it. Our Illusionist run would have been really good for using the boats, but if you've watched that one, I really suggest you do. It's an interesting example of how a Conquest of Elysium game can go wrong. That kind of demonstrated an interesting path the game can take, and I think at a certain point in that game, boats might not help, but I think earlier I probably should have built boats, because there was some rough terrain in between us and the enemy. And building boats can get you past that rough terrain, which is absolutely true. You should listen to that advice that one of my commenters said. Which, thank you for that comment, by the way. I do think it's correct. But at the end of the day, sometimes I'm going to look at a boat. I'm going to say, I have to pour 10 gold and 25 production. Grumble, grumble, and then I'm not going to build the boat. Like here, we'll build a boat. Here, I'll send Gusain. I don't know how to pronounce that. Off on a boat. How do you? Actually, don't know how to use the boat very much. Is he not fit? I feel like he should fit. Never used the boat mechanics. I'm a little lost on how they function. We'll keep trying to build more boats and figure this out, because I should figure this out. We'll build this metal guy and try and put him on the boat. Can you get on the boat? Do we need a certain amount of crew? Okay, so he's just too big? Let's look at this. I thought they used to show you, I guess maybe it's only in battles on the boat. So it can hold 20, so it could hold 20 men. Does, can't really tell what size this guy is. Apparently he's bigger than 20? Doesn't seem to take up that many squares. What is this, like four squares? Something like that. I don't know. We'll have to check more into that later. We'll start to figure that out as we continue on one day here. I kind of want to try another Demon Lord and get a Demon Lord and have him just be ready to open the Infernal Gate. We can definitely just keep hitting the end turn button here if we need to. This is some wonky terrain here. Look at this map and its weird, like, peninsulas is really getting to me. Like, look at these peninsulas. There's this weird arm. There's this thing. This is ridiculous. There's this ledge that leads to a port. There's this. Okay, this is insane. Look at this. This looks like it's like a little like I don't know, like a dinosaur's neck, and this is its head so far. Although it's probably gonna look different when we get there. I'm just like, what did this map decide in terms of its seed? What is going on here? Why is it so wonky? I'm not complaining like in I'm angry way, by the way. I'm just like befuddled by the strange shapes of the map. We did end up exploring most of that stuff, so thank goodness we did that. Oh, good. They have a great weapon master. Gonna come take our stuff, and there's a pirate boat sailing towards us, which gives me the inclination there is something to the south, like a port on an island, or maybe there's a port right here. There's a bunch of pirates. I don't want to kick him out of the game. Okay, there might be a whole bunch of stuff the Enchanter has. He has been building quite a bit. He had those big stacks that were running through here, although they might have been in the way back already. We'll just chill here and see what he does. He looks conflicted. I don't think this is his last base. He has a crystal tower somewhere, I believe. But we're going to get a chance at one more Demon Lord. Both our Demonologists is a little risky, but I'm feeling a little risky. We'll skip past that. You guys have seen that already. Don't need to watch those fights continuously. And we're going to try this again, and we might just let the Weapon Master run around. Although if we do kill him, it's a little risky too. Oh, God. Fuck me. Okay, this is the Lord of Corruption I was talking about, Belial, or however you pronounce that. These stats are okay. He's like the weakest physical Demon Lord, I'll say. He's not very good at fighting. He's got a nice flail, which, you know, it negates shields, so he'll rip through shields, but you don't want to tank him. You could turn him into, like, a really dangerous combatant if you filled these all out, but on his own, I definitely wouldn't suggest it. He's got charm immunity, and he gives you a gold bonus, which is kind of funny. He's got rituals and flying. The real thing about him is he's got one level 3 infernal magic, which is like, you know, demon lieutenants have that in some cases. But you're gonna see something happen here, and I'm actually a little concerned. Okay. Ooh, okay, he got our Dark Wizard. So all the humans in our army, as you can see here, have a chance of corruption. Which, luckily, this guy was kitted out with a Frost Shield, otherwise he could have been in some trouble. He himself has Imp Horde, Summon Fiend. So, you know, Infernal spells aren't that crazy at level 3. They either provide a little too much danger to your caster if you get that global that does the magic damage that we saw on one of the lieutenants that we summoned. The Greater Devil Lieutenant. Gonna take this port back. I was really hoping to show you guys all the Demon Lords, especially Orcus. Orcus presents a unique opportunity. We might just skip through some turns and do that. I don't want this guy running around. We'll let his big stack run around, and we'll go kill this great weapon master. Tired of him. Here we go. Make sure this has enough to defend it from these... Oh, they have a ballista again. This is going to fall to them. I don't have any mercenaries available either. What's nice about these boats is the deep sea. I hadn't considered that, actually, is that you get through the deep sea quite quickly. There could be some utility to that with some water factions. Where all your amphibians move super slow through the sea. We packed him on a boat and had like a ritual caster out here, especially like the High Cultist. Throw the High Cultist on it. Ooh, Ancient Temple of the Deep. I actually haven't seen this before. That is new to me. Let's keep exploring what I consider to be his homeland. We can take back this stuff. Try and fully protect this from pirates. Stomp on the ambush there. I just want to keep showing you guys Demon Lords. I'm going to do a video on the Inferno, and eventually we're going to do a big campaign where we try and conquest a bunch of the planes. I haven't decided exactly if we want to do all of them yet. That sounds like very game crashy, but maybe. Depends. The game starts to suffer when you do that. This is where his base is going to be. The coal mine is a big indicator of that. Oh, hi Freya. Hello. Yes, hello. Said hello to you. So let's grab some of these guys. Let's run this direction and get ready to retake whatever he takes. I don't love that he's running around taking things, but I do not want to lose him. We're going to save the game again just so we don't accidentally murder the guy. His final base is here. Garron actually could deal with this, so we'll just leave him here when we need to, and we'll continue to bump around. We should take this city back, now that I think of it. Oh, the pirates are attacking. Ballista's a little dangerous. You get to see us kill our own troops now, potentially. They have changed the AI, it seems, a little bit, to where they don't do it as often when they have their own troops and are greatly outnumbering the enemy, which is nice. Although maybe I still have some of my Conquest 4 paranoia, because I've seen my own armies get obliterated by that when these guys are in the very back and have no other spell options. I've seen them cast this stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe you guys can inform me that apparently they've changed something. One thing we could do is kill this guy, because his actual... he's got another apprentice here who will survive past him, and I think we are going to do that, because I want to get rid of this guy. This is going to be a pretty cool battle. There's a lot that's going to happen. A big thing to note is the shades are actually going to be more effective against these guys than a lot of our melee troops. Although, we're still going to do damage to them with a bunch of other magic stuff. Let's check out what they have in this city. And we'll send Gus up here. to go take that city if there is something bigger than what we might expect. But you'll see here, we'll shoot down some flames. We'll almost immediately kill their level 2 enchanter. He's using the line of spells. That's a really bad thing versus the Demonologist for other factions. The amount of spells you're going to be pumping out mean that casters are particularly vulnerable in the front lines. Like, look, he just got lightning bolt. He's dead. So you'll see, we actually didn't summon any shades, unfortunately. A lot of our other spells will do damage to these guys. Our infernal stuff rips through these. If we can get, like, harm and things like that. Eventually, fire will hit these guys enough to where they do die. Although they're getting 50% resistance. And enchanters sometimes will have spells like fire resistance, so they'll bump that up to 100. That guy is not lucky enough to have had that cast upon him. At the end of the day, you can see the real power of the Demonologist is he can just stomp other factions if he gets control of enough demons. And there's two factions in the game I think most people agree need probably no work on them in terms of balancing to make them worse. I mean, to make them better. Are the Demonologist and the Necromancer. They're both pretty well thought out. Sometimes OP, sometimes the Demonologist just kills himself, though. So that one can be a very glass cannon kind of thing. Where you're either doing really great or you're dead. You're just shooting out all that damage, or you get killed by the first demon spawns you summon. Our ice guy should be able to do this. So we'll wait for Gus. I keep wanting to call him Guy. Gus to get up here, and we'll do that. We'll summon another Demon Lord. See if we can grab it. I want to grab one to defend the Infernal Gate. Hopefully not Beer, because Beer will be kind of ineffective. A Baden would be good. Oh, well, we did get a Baden, but he did not want to be commanded. A Baden is a particularly dangerous Demon Lord, and he's got, oh god, he's going to get Demon Locust with him. Oh, this is actually pretty bad. Is that usually? I don't remember him ever having a disease thing. But Abaddon's pretty scary. He's like the Shadow Lord, so these Heligophus are kind of like his underlings, I suppose. And the Shadow Imps. He's got a shit ton of hit points. You can see that. He's got high magic resistance. He's got 4 armor. That's not coming from any stuff here. I don't think he usually has sleep immunity. I could be wrong about that, but... He's a combat caster. He's got a fire shield. Apparently he has a disease thing. I think this might be caused by this, but not be telling us. I'm not certain. We'll have to see when we take it whether or not he actually has that, because I don't believe he had that before. He's got a fire shield. That's normal. He's amphibious. He's giant-sized. The real danger of him is, one, he's going to get one of these Summon Fire Imps pre-battle, so he's going to start with a little more units. But the crazy thing is Pyromancy 3 and Infernal Magic 3. It's so good, because he can get summons in between him and the enemy. Oh, and he's just toxic. Oh god, Bloodletting, Hellfire. Oh, that's bad. And, oh god, okay. Pierre the Patsy, will you survive, or will you have killed yourself with this Abaddon summoning? He's gonna get more of those off, because he's a combat caster. We can see he's summoning demons with Infernal Gate. One more Hellfire, and if he fails his magic resistance, he's dead. Losing all our other wizards, too. And this guy's hard to kill. He's ethereal as well. The ethereal fire shield. Although the fire shield doesn't impact us so much. That fear made our troll run away, though. Oh! 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 Yes! The greater demon! Oh, which one of you did that? God, I don't know. Vega and Lex, truly, one of you has done something. Play it back if you must, and tell me in the comments who did that specifically. I can't play it back here. But, oh my god. Oh, these greater demons really paid off. What a lucky nab. 10 magic resistance that had to get past. And I think Hellbind Heart just negates... Yeah, regularly. It doesn't even with great difficulty. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. My lucky stars. Okay. Let's get even more crazy. Let's open an infernal gate. Although, the issue is, Abaddon is no longer a commander because he got enslaved. Which is a little lame, but he can chill with the army. Let's hit the gate button. Oh god. Well, that's lame. Oh, guys. I think... So, generally, what you want is the Infernal Gate to spawn you somewhere where there's a village or something. But it has spawned us right in the magma. So only fire-resistant stuff can go down there. Into this portal. We'll do so a little bit of exploring. You're not fire-resistant. I think our Heligophus is the only thing that can really go down there. So Valupa will have to take a squad. If he must. I don't want him to kill everything. Or die to everything. So we'll enter the gateway. And so we can get a little taste for what's down here. Now, there's a couple factions that do really well down here. In terms of, they get a lot of resources from it. I'll say, I don't really consider us one of those factions early on. Because you have to get a bunch of these ovens, and you're constantly getting attacked by demons. I believe, unless they've changed it since 4, most of the, when did we get a dire... Oh, we got it from the staff thing. But, you'll get a lot of gold from coming down here. You'll also get... I think you'll get Hands of Glory. Oh, God. But the demons, as you'll see here, are super aggressive. Why are we... Okay, just having some trouble. So they'll just attack you whether or not they'll win the battle or not. This disease demon might cause us a little bit of pain here if he decays our commander. Oh, God. Well, that's it for exploring, guys. Because our commander's dead. But we'll do a video dedicated to the plains, and eventually we'll do a Conquest of the Plains run. Either with maybe the High Cultist or the Warlock. I haven't decided what I want to do yet with that. We'll see. Considering both. We'll destroy this gate, but this is some of the Inferno. Demons will just rush through this anytime they can, and sometimes you'll get in certain places in the Inferno where there's just a bunch of them. But that's kind of that. And we could end the game here. We'll go after this. And it also gets rid of that village, keep that in mind. You can see these guys, when they're really outnumbered, they'll start casting those spells a lot. And that could be pretty good against small armies like that, but once they start getting real outnumbered, they'll get surrounded early, or if, you know, you're fighting the Baron and they have cavalry, they'll get on them too quickly, or anything that's fast. Cause them a bunch of problems. Now, I want to take this off of him and see if he's actually a disease dude, because that's the only item I could think of that's causing it. And I don't remember Abaddon having that tag. Maybe he did? Yes, okay, so this is just a hidden effect of the item. Abaddon does not have the disease thing. I don't know why it didn't tell us that on the item, but reading it, it felt pretty apparent to me that he does not have disease, because this item, the Book of Plagues, seems to reminate with that kind of ability, in my mind. We'll try, maybe... God, I don't want to risk losing Pierre. We're going to do a video on the Inferno. You'll see a lot of the Demon Lords there. This is going to be our run, though. We're going to do a bit of an overview of everything. After this battle. And I've heard some of you are looking forward to the video on the plains, so I'm definitely working on them, trying to get all the map revealed and things like that. Also trying to find the time to sit down and record it. writing a structure for it. I'm going to do it a little bit freeform. I'm planning like an outline. It's how I used to give lectures as an assistant teacher. Is I just created an outline after knowing the material, and then I'd present it. So that's my plan with that, is to try to do it freeform on a video and see how it sounds, and then get it right eventually and send it out. So that might take some time, maybe this next week. I plan to do one on magic libraries, all the planes, maybe start doing dedicated overviews and not just overviewing at the end of videos. We'll see. But that's Bethur, the Enchanter, and that's the end of the game. You can see here, there, you know, if we just look at our raw army strength, throughout the game, we really excelled at, just the Troll King, okay. Enchanter was never very good. Throughout the game, after this point, you can see where we lost that main army to demons. So we were on the upwards trajectory. We weren't anywhere near the best. You can see who really took off here, the High Cultist and the Troll King were two of the main combaters. Unfortunately for them, they don't do particularly well against us unless the High Cultist starts getting its Outer Gods, which its Outer Gods, I'd argue, are good against anything, especially this one with the tentacles and it's blue and it regenerates. We'll look at it when we overview that faction. But ultimately, they're pretty crazy in terms of being able to defeat everything, so. Otherwise, though, the rest of their faction isn't very good versus us. We set them all on fire. We have a lot of spells that cast into their backline where the real valuable stuff is, and they didn't even have that much of it, so they were not that well off. They just had a lot of units from spawning a bunch of the deep one, like fish people. We had quite upwards trajectory after that demon summoning went wrong, though, because we immediately killed a bunch of our enemies. If you really want to win a game of Conquest of Elysium, I mean, blitzing your early enemies and then consolidating is a really great thing, and that's what we did. The witch was fighting another witch down here at the same time, but that doesn't mean, you know, we weren't in a lot of danger. You saw, if we had summoned those hell locusts, this would have been a lot smoother. Instead, we failed. We lost, like, I think 2 demonologists after that. This guy down here, and I think we lost one over here. Eventually, Pierre, our Frenchman, took over and eventually became a Gothic master, weirdly enough. Dude actually lasted us the entire game. Pierre the Patsy, the Gothic master. Pretty wild. Pretty good. Where are these pirates coming from, just as a thought? There's a pirate port up here, wasn't there? There's a couple ports. Okay. Oh, there's a gate down here. This might lead to the elemental plane of water. Keep in mind, sometimes there's gates out there that lead to certain planes and things like it. Is there any other weird stuff on our map? Unfortunately, we can't view the other planes through this. Otherwise, I might just do the reviews through that and make it a lot easier to explain what the Inferno is, but instead I either have to explore it or mod certain things to get there easily. And open it up. Got a little distracted there, but that early blitz won us a lot. We expanded north. You know, it wasn't too difficult. We had some surprising peninsulas, which, what the fuck is this? That looks like almost like a pelican or like some kind of bird. Look, it's got this is the neck, leads up. This is like the top of the head. This is kind of the eye area right here, and this is the beak. Maybe a malformed duck or some sort of weird bird. There's that weird that bird that looks like a puppet that's from some savanna area in the world. I don't know if it's from Africa or Australia, but it looks really strange. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head, but it's making me think of that. It's got this big bill, like almost like a pelican, and it's got these long legs. It's kind of purplish dark, maybe, or black feathers. You know, it's got that oily color that birds sometimes get. He's got a little foot. If his body comes out here, and this is almost a tail feather, although it kind of diverts into this whole big thing. So, kind of an unfinished bird-like creature. But there was an easy conquest. The Troll King, it just does not hold a candle to the Demonologist when they go up against each other. The Troll King has its enemies it's really good against. A lot of the human factions it can tear through quite easily. Hobergs die to the Troll Kings like crazy. Their regeneration, combined sometimes with having armor, just really destroys Hobergs. The undead ones can beat them a little bit. Trolls also do pretty well against decay casters and disease casters, because they'll still, live through those. So you don't have as much attrition, although it still sucks. It's not the best, but you can deal with stuff like that. Lots of chaff are not good versus trolls, but versus the Demonologist, we excel. We came over here and it was mostly already done for. The Troll King had eliminated a lot of the competition up here, like the barbarians and stuff. The High Cultist had been collecting a bunch of shit down here after killing the Baron, it seems, because he was right up here. A little weird how the Enchanter... I guess the Enchanter just could not be killed from this area, so they'd been building up. They probably had a bunch of coal mines, because they look like they had a lot of iron golems, which I think or stone golems, which come from coal mines, if I'm not mistaken. As far as the Demonologist goes as a faction, your typical army... Where's our other thing? Yeah, we lost a lot of the other stuff we had. Or it's in the Inferno. We might go back on a load here. I'm gonna load back. Oh, this is not right. Although I could show you guys this. This is one of my fun things. Typical army composition, you'll go with imps in the back. Not these guys. These guys are garbage. But you'll go with, like, caster imps in the back. Either you'll have your Infernal Horde summons, or you'll have, your regular, like, these kind of demons in the front, these 20 or so sacrifices, 20 to 30 sacrifice demons. There's a lot of variability in what you can get, though, and that can cause you some problems if you don't get the right stuff. Because if you end up, if we get one of the Ice Lieutenants, and then you end up getting, let's say, you end up getting a bunch of these guys, well, if they have the AoE Ice with fire-resistant troops, that's not that good. But if you, say, had this guy and he's with these guys, it's not as big of a deal. Although you don't want bloodletting still, because that will hit your own guys. If you had a lot of access to lifeless units, I'd say it's pretty good. You don't get a lot of access to lifeless, or any at all, really. So that's not going to really be super impactful. All your demons are full of life and evilness. But you can kind of see there the composition you're going to want to build. And after that, I'm going to say that you're not going to be in that much trouble. What you're going to have is you're going to have these big stacks of spellcasters. They can cast from pretty far away. Like, even this guy, he's got Summon Shade Assassin, which just hits the backline like crazy. I really suggest how you build up your army is you get line of either garbage chaff or these dudes, imps in the back, and that's how you start off, and then you build up with just more backline stuff. Your front line is held just fine by Demon Knights, the Bloodsworn, even your regular, like, level 1 summon dudes, these dudes. These guys will hold up okay. Okay, well, immediately failing at casting there, but they'll hold up okay if you can get a lot of them. I definitely think the Demon Knights and the Bloodsworn and the Locusts are more of a bang for your buck. In terms of that, though, I do transition to those guys. I could see doing these if you're trying to build up an army that's resistant to, like, ice and trying your best to get it, although you're not going to get that guarantee. I don't know if there's a way to increase the chance of getting these particular type. There might be, like, I know the Druid, if they stand on, like, the Spider Thicket, they'll get Spider Summons. I haven't seen that for the Demonologist. If that's a mechanic, I'm unaware of it. I don't think it is, though. I'm always open to being wrong about it. But, like, yeah, once you build that front line, you can transition off of imps into these greater demons, then eventually demon lieutenants, and you'll end up with a big old doom stack. And you can get multiples of these depending on how hard the game is. We played on count difficulty most of the time when we're doing these overviews. You could either go harder if you want to really get a challenge, or you could put it on a huge map so they build up a lot of their stuffs on count difficulty. And then you won't see people for a while. You'll build up your big stuff, other factions will as well. A large map, sometimes they can do it. We've seen examples where elves started building famine and things like it. And, in our Kobold run, we saw giant mirrors and crazy armies with the Priest King, our Kobold run. So, you can see some of that stuff sometimes. And that Kobold run was on Baron difficulty, just depending on how long you go, how the other factions do. But it's a roguelike, so sometimes you're going to get weak games like this. And other times, you're going to get games like our Illusionist campaign, which I really suggest you watch just to see how things can go so wrong. I did make a couple mistakes in there, but sometimes you just get a bad hand for some other stuff as well. Now, most people rate this faction as the S tier, and I definitely agree. This is an S tier faction. And, I actually, in multiplayer, you want to be a little careful. Because if you're playing in multiplayer with your buddies and you set out a couple hours to play some Conquest, keep in mind, you're going to end up maybe killing yourself with a big demon stack. And then, once you're out of the game, you're out of the game in that sense. Unless you're, playing like, oh, we're just going to start a new one if you die immediately. But then that's kind of like, breaking the mechanics of the Demonologist, so I wouldn't suggest that personally. It's like giving them a handicap, almost, right? And an unfair handicap in a game, because if you do that, then they're guaranteed to blow up, and then once the Demonologist blows up, they're going to go crazy. So you want to be kind of careful with that. But I think it's a very good faction to play. There's few factions that can deal with it well. One being the Warlock deals with it well. The Illusionist can deal with it. If we look at the faction list, just real quick. Just hit this button. So we see all these factions here. The Scourge Lord can end up dealing with it very late game when they have all their resistances, but, that's going to be very rare you're facing that. L is a hard counter. L will murder you because of all their banishes. Now, keep in mind, once you start getting your level 3 stuff, you might have things that are going into their backline and killing them. But the Shades are banishable, too, I believe. Even the summoned ones. And so you'll run into some issues there. I think beyond that, though, you're mostly going to be okay. There's some stuff in the High Cultists that can kill almost everything in the game, in my opinion, at this point. They're big death ray old gods, but it takes them a long time to get those off the ground. The Priest King presents a challenge to you, and it's like demon versus demon, which is pretty cool. Wish we could have seen some Priest King in here. Also, their temples are super valuable for you. If you can get a temple with sacrifices, you're getting more recruits of Demonologists, you're getting more sacrifices and gold. It's the whole package. So I'd say you definitely want some of those guys. Although their lesser stuff, their animals that they summon aren't very good versus you. Other than that, there's people who can deal with you, like the kobolds are going to have a bunch of resistances, but you're going to slaughter them with spell diversity. And that brings me to maybe my last note as we kind of close off here, because we're at an hour and 20 minutes roughly. This is one of the factions, like the Warlock, that has some of the greater diversity in the game. And there's factions that suffer with diversity, and there's some that just go off the handle. This is one of those that goes off the handle. You're going to have such diversity of spells from your rituals that you're going to be able to deal with most threats. And having that many tools in your toolbox, I think, is what makes this an S-tier faction. And I think it's what makes it a little better than the Necromancer. Because where, like, the Necromancer is banishable and doesn't have a lot of tools, right? They're all focused on death. There's only a couple diverse paths they can get outside of mercenary mages. The Demonologist has a whole plethora of stuff that they can go to. And a lot of their stuff has decent magic resistance, so it's going to be harder to banish them too. But the only downside being your units can turn against you. Just keep that in mind. I'd say, like, definitely play the Demonologist. It's one of my favorites, thematically and strategically speaking, because it's so good. If we're talking about it being OP, it's a little OP once it gets off the ground. But beyond that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Pierre the Patsy now reigns in the new Empire Age. You can join me for our L run coming up probably tomorrow, depending on how things go. But I hope you guys enjoy. Hope you'll return for another one. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.